Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partner with Robert Miller & Son Furniture and here in Kokomo. My name is Drew Larison. This is Mayor Tyler Moore, also known as MTM. Mr. Mayor, how are you?
I'm great. Good afternoon. Good to be back. Sorry about the absence last week.
Oh, you're fine. It happens. Busy guy you are.
Busy guy. Busy guy. Had a wonderful opportunity, the reason for my absence, to attend the final convening, if you will, of the 16 communities that were selected by the National League of Cities and Department of Labor to participate in the Good Jobs, Great Cities initiative. That looked at all kinds of issues, challenges, whatever that the cities face, focusing primarily on workforce development. I think that's why Kokomo was selected as one of the 16 communities, because a lot of the others had major industry develop into their areas and such. And obviously with our battery plant and knowing the influx of folks that are coming and the need for employment, that initiative focused again not just on workforce development, but also the supportive services around it, with the number of women entering the workforce, especially in manufacturing or advanced manufacturing, like affordable daycare, housing, other supportive services and such. And so it was a great time. It was neat to see that, and interesting that a lot of what we face as a smaller community, and I say small community because we were practically the smallest at between 59 and 60,000. I mean, you had metropolitan areas like Santa Fe, St. Louis, Chattanooga, that were also some of the cities that what we're facing, they face as well, but on a lot larger scale. Yeah, they have more available resources and funding opportunities than we may, but still that a lot of what they're doing we can mirror and kind of learn from too. So good stuff.
I love that. Yeah. It's a good excuse not to be here for the show.
You bet.
I'm glad. Love it. All right. Well, let's give a shout out real quick to Robert Miller & Son. They are the partner for this show. So get ready to embrace the summer heat with sizzling summer savings event here at Robert Miller & Son. Take advantage of up to 30% off select furniture pieces with Tempur-Pedic floor models up to 50% off. Tempur-Pedic floor models up to 50% off. Lazy Boy recliners are starting at just $399, as well as a huge selection of American-made lift chairs. But what really sets them apart is the lowest price guarantee. You can shop with confidence. Come into the store to see the next edition of your home. Don't miss out on these sizzling deals.
Sizzling. Because it's still summer.
It is, even though it's starting to feel like fall a little bit, and I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either.
Oh, man, we had like our first bonfire event of the year on Saturday night, and it was...
Yeah, and to leave
Chef's
windows
kiss.
and everything open Saturday and Sunday.
So good.
It was wonderful.
Very, very nice. Yeah, So how was your weekend?
Busy again, going backwards through the weekend. So yesterday moved child number 4 back to college. So it's the third move of the 3 of the kids. One, my son to Chicago to start his new job. Second one, my daughter and now son-in-law to their apartment. And now my sophomore in college son to his house or rented house down in Bloomington. So we just got one more to go. Labor Day weekend, we'll be moving kid number 5 down to Troy, Ohio for Hobart.
Dear me.
Institute, and then
empty nesters,
except for the dog.
What's that like?
I don't know. We're going to find out. It's ironic, though. It was funny that Friday, it was the first time that I can recall ever getting an email from them. So we get an email
from your kids.
No.
Oh.
from Heritage Lanes saying, "Hey, check out our social leagues." I was like, well, there you go, honey. Somebody's telling us maybe we need to start bowling.
AARP in the mail too.
Yeah.
And all that
I've been getting that.
Those.
Yeah, but how funny, because people, what are you guys going to do? I said, I don't know. Maybe we'll join a bowling league or a golf league or something. And it's Friday, we got a
Parker who works here. He's a big bowler. He's a part of that league over there. He does like the crazy. We do like bowling outings every now and then with the whole team, and like he does like the spin and like he's got all of it down. He's got a special ball,
of course.
Like he's got his own ball that he like doesn't put his thumb in, like the way he holds. I'm telling you, he's a legit guy, legit bowler. That Parker,
legit, yeah. So Saturday knocked out the to-do list at the house while getting Joe's the trailer packed for Joe. But then Friday night finally had our Charlie and the Chocolate Factory cast party, getting everybody together to one last time to see how the summer went and.
Was there chocolate?
There was chocolate.
I was going to say that'd be kind of lame if like no
chocolate and pizza.
Yeah. Classic.
Classic.
Love it. Very cool.
So, yeah, fun.
What's going on at City Hall this week?
Oh, planning. Big day tomorrow. Finally, I'm finally going to be able to bring your wife what I promised her 2 years ago.
Yeah, we talked about that this morning, actually.
Box of dirt. So
a box of dirt.
She better be here and be ready next Monday because there'll be a formal presentation.
She'll be here with bells on. So if you guys don't know this, how many years ago? I mean,
8.
It's been a while
8.
where we talked about getting a box of dirt for that hotel and conference center.
Yeah, just talking about the box. Yeah, so it's been 2.5 years.
Yeah.
It was early on, but yeah, the planning stage of the hotel conference center has been 8 since the announcement, but obviously there were a couple of years in the design and
2020 did before. What 2020 did, you know? Yeah. Well, let's talk about that then a little bit.
Sure.
What's going on with that? Is it same developer? Any changes have been made?
Different developer had to do some adjustment to it to get the price down. So that was, I mean, you said that's what 2020 did to us, but actually 2020 gave us the opportunity to get back with the original developer and say, hey, where are you in your list of projects? We get that the world is shut down a little bit. What are you looking at? And he said, it might be a good time to come back. And so the original developer actually came back to the table, went so far as to have design work, financing, and everything, was ready to pull the trigger. And then got to the point that he was like, the gap's a little more, and I got stuff going on down here. Maybe, I'm still interested, but not going to do it for, consider it again for another year or two. And, at that point, because we had gotten that far down the road, that we had submitted it as one of the projects for our first round of READY funds from our region, and had been awarded $5 million or allocated $5 million from our total region's allotment. The time was ticking on it because that first round of READY funds were tied to the state's ARP monies, and there's time constraints on the ARP money. So we didn't have time to wait for him to come back and feel more comfortable. And so graciously had a cordial split up. He allowed us to the city to go ahead and buy the designs and the rights to the designs. We sent out an RFP, partnered with SSG out of Lafayette, the Patel family, and they took the ball and ran with it, did some adjustments to the designs, got it to the point that we're finally going to make it happen, and we're now ready to finally break ground officially tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Now, I know there's been a lot of work going on down and around there, but the majority of the work there is on sanitation sewer work. That for that enlargement, coming a lot of the material coming from the battery plant area. So just made sense, to finally, they were using that as a staging area, but we've got it mapped off. And a lot of the dirt that was being removed from there anyhow with that work, one of the subcontractors was needing anyhow. So, I mean, there's already been a little bit of site work being done prior to it, but going to make it official tomorrow. And even this morning, somebody said, are you sure that's actually going to...
What's going to happen tomorrow morning?
I know, Everybody rolls their eyes for the last handful of years when you say, hey, the hotel conference center. It's like, believe it when we see it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of feedback from the community about that, and like, why is it needed? Do we need another hotel? And obviously, these people are investing millions of dollars into this thing. They wouldn't be doing that if they didn't think it was needed. So what type of surveys or studies have been done to this does make sense. Let's do it downtown. This is going to be a great thing for Kokomo.
Yeah, and I know they had the survey or that study done probably 10 years ago just to see if it was feasible and where the best location would be, because not only did that study investigate if the community could support it and the market support it, but then where would the best location be? Would it be out along 931, south end, north end, because we had the event center at the time. At that point, would it make sense to have a hotel next to that? And I think the original owner had hoped to and wanted to out there, but that study did show that downtown could support it and that would be beneficial down here. And I think the study was updated 21, so just after the pandemic again. I think just one final thing to say, okay, is it still warranted? Could it still work? Especially in light of the hospitality industry and such. And it did show that, and so we moved forward. So, yeah, like you said, for the SSG group to take hold of that RFP that was sent out and look at the market, study the market, in the area, and see the benefit that could come from that, for them to get on board and say, let's run with that.
What I've always understood too, especially on like the conference center side, which, to me, that makes more, that makes sense. The hotel makes sense because of the conference center to me, because there are actually Indianapolis. A lot of people don't know this. Indianapolis is like one of the biggest conference cities in the entire country. Like they literally rival Las Vegas, like in the way Indianapolis has like shaped their downtown. If you guys have ever been there, like, and walked around, it's so walkable. Like there are multiple hotels, the conference center and the convention center is right there. Lucas Oil is right there. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, right? It's right there. Victory Field is right there. The new update on Circle Center Mall is going to be amazing for downtown. They're going to like gut that and redo that, and all of it's really walkable. So it makes Indianapolis a really great large convention city for that purpose. So Indy dominates the large convention part of that need in Indiana, and as well as nationwide. Like, what's the comic book one they do every year there?
Gen Con. Gen Con's the gaming one, but Comic Con, Yeah,
I mean, they have huge national conventions happen in Indianapolis. But from what I've understood, that like small to medium conference, need that's out there, because not every conference is just massive.
Right.
There's not a lot of that being taken care of in Indiana. So like this really could bring, and not just the Midwest in general, not just Indiana, this really could bring a lot of people to Kokomo to have their conferences in Kokomo, because now the hotel's right. That's what I said. The hotel makes sense because of the conference center to me, because you have the conference there and you also have the hotel there. But then, there was always this debate about downtown in general. It's kind of like a chicken before the egg thing, right? Like, do you develop before you bring in a hotel and conference center, or do you develop after you bring it in? Like, it's a chicken before the egg. And I was visiting a city in southern Indiana once, and they did it the opposite of Kokomo. They built this beautiful, huge hotel with a conference center attached. I was traveling for business, stayed there because I'm like, oh, cool, downtown hotel would be nice. I got out. There was nothing around.
To do.
Downtown was a like ghost land. It was just nothing to do. And I'm like, can I walk like dinner somewhere? And they're like, no, we have like a cafeteria you can go. I'm just like, okay, it's a little disappointing. But like, you think about really what this is going to set up in Kokomo, all the restaurants that exist downtown. We have our own little version of Victory Field called Kokomo Municipal Stadium. We have like the Bobcats that might be in town at, Memorial Gym. We have restaurants downtown. You know what I mean? Like, we've done it.
Heritage Museum will be in the basement.
I love it. So I think we've done it the right way. It just took around 10 times longer than anybody wanted it to, but some of that was out of our hands, right? But there is a need for this, for that like small to medium size conference that exists so much. There is a need for this, and I'm excited for Kokomo to be possibly the center of it. And this really could be overnight the #1 tourist destination for Kokomo. So I mean, fun times for Kokomo.
Fun times,
right?
Yeah, because even if it's #2, if Championship Park still takes the lead on attractions, I mean, there's still the need for hotel stays. And I mean, because even when they fill up along there, I mean, to have a team, I would be like, okay, especially if the Jackrabbits, going on, to stay downtown, be hop, skip, and jump out to Championship Park, but then be able, after the game, for the team, for the families to walk over to Municipal Stadium for a game. Absolutely.
Really. Go downtown to Cooper's Pub. I mean, it's crazy.
A few more blocks to the Sun King, to the whole
Fox's Trail,
Oscars, and Three Amigos. Yeah,
Coterie right there. It's cool. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be great. Fun. When is that? Well, is that supposed to still be? Is it a DoubleTree, or what type of hotel is it going to be?
It's going to be a Hilton.
It's a Hilton hotel. Yep. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
And that should be finished. What's the estimated range right now?
I think next fall.
So about a year. Pretty quick.
Yeah.
The whole thing in a year?
I think so.
Dang. That's quicker than I thought it was going to be. Love to see it.
A little over a year, but yeah, maybe by Thanksgiving next year.
Nice. I want to do like a staycation there.
There you go.
Stay at the hotel downtown. That's silly.
No, it's not silly.
Kind of be fun. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have some questions today. If you are watching this live and you have any questions for the mayor, this is the time to type those into the chat. We've only got a few questions today, so we won't be here long unless you start typing those into the chat. But we've got some questions, but this is the Ask the Mayor segment. Let's get right into it. The first question is from Allie on Facebook. Hey. What would it take for the city/downtown association to bring back the New Year's Eve celebration? This got paused due to COVID, I believe, right? And then just never came back.
Well, it kind of. I mean, I
forward thinking, Allie,
yeah.
by the way.
Really, and actually, I think we're going to. I know that I spoke to the Technocats, who typically has done the ball, and they are excited to get back at it. It would just take a handful of organizers to pick up the baton and run with it at this point. I'm not sure that the Downtown Association was that excited about all the effort that went into it for a short time period that it took place. But I mean, it's an opportunity. I mean, depending on the weather, regardless of the weather, not depending on regardless of the weather, you still get a handful of people down there. If it's warm, cold, just to be part of that. So if there's, even if you've got a couple hundred people downtown for half an hour that wander into Mojo's or Cook's or Coterie or something before or after, and they're down there, I mean, it's definitely worth it. I mean, so I have a very good hunch that the ball will be back this year.
Love that. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we'd love to be a part of that too. So our new office is like right off the square on Walnut. So I mean, we're really close to downtown. We have very intensely started our planning for our post party for Halloween. It's going to be bigger than ever. I know we say that every year, but like this is the first time in this new location that we're going to be doing it. And we've got some amazing partners this year that are just going to make it crazy. And like through the planning of the Halloween party, we've really talked about like, we should do more events. Like I don't know, it's a silly thing to say, but we obviously have like a lot of people that follow us here on the internet. And 99.9% of the interactions we ever have with our audience is digital. And I always say like once a year, it's really cool to like physically see our people. Like our people come to this event that we hold in person, and like, I mean, I really think like 3,500, 4,000 families like came down to our thing last year. Easily. It was wild. And it's just a really cool thing. So we're like, we need to do that more because, obviously like using the internet and using media the way that we do is really great. We can reach a lot of people with it, but there's something really cool about just all of us coming together. The thing about the New Year's Eve thing, it's just always so cold.
Right.
I don't know if you get like a tent, put some heaters in it maybe, and like you can leave that tent when the ball's dropping and then hop back in, hang out. And there's a lot of stuff we do because the downtown's always been shut down for that, right? Streetwise. Yeah. So we could pop
I mean, at least Sycamore down to Walnut and or from Buckeye to Walnut, and then Main Street from basically Superior down to Walnut.
We could do some cool stuff. We should talk about that.
Awesome.
We'd be partnering up with that. All right. Next question is Misty on Facebook. Are there any plans to get more emergency response vehicles?
We are in the process of getting, working on new engines for the fire department. They have an aging fleet, and we've had a few go down recently. And so working through the logistics and cost with that, but I'm assuming she means ambulances, either Possibly. ALS or BLS. Both hospitals provide the ambulance service in Kokomo, and each one at any given time has, I think over the overnight hour, 3 or 4 each during heightened times, even to 5. So we've got anywhere from 6 to 10 in service or available at any given time, which does seem to work. Now, I know we have one ambulance available with the fire department, but staffing has prevented that from being put back into service. But again, a lot of that too, because on practically every emergency call, a fire truck is dispatched to provide EMS service to those individuals if the ambulance is on its way, or to assist the paramedics when they show up. So right now, with the coverage that both hospitals provide and the mutual aid agreements we have with the townships, I think there's adequate amount in service now. I know that there's certain social media outlets that keep asserting that we don't, and that there's no medic available and then such. But that's always specifically for transport. I mean, it's not that people aren't receiving the services they need. It's just that once after the services are administered, sometimes there needs to be transport to the hospital, and so that's where that comes in.
It's an important distinction.
But yeah, looking at the fire department as we try to slowly build the numbers back up, because what everybody forgets too is that back before the hospital started providing, or in conjunction or in partnership with them, when Kokomo had 1 or 2 ambulances in service or as part of the department, was as far back as 2008. We had 122 firefighters on the department, no property tax caps, which means you could adjust the funding and such. And so now, because we're right at around 90 firefighters, I mean, so we're easily 32 down, and it takes 2 or so additional 8 to 10 firefighters, and we're already trying to get more bodies on the trucks to assist in fire protection. So it's just a slow roll, unfortunately.
Got it. Okay. Next question is from Sarah on Facebook. Not really a challenge, but I'm curious to see if there are any plans on starting up Korean language classes.
Good question. I know the either Ivy Tech or IUK or both. I think both are looking at English as a second language for the Koreans coming in, and so also looking at the possibility of providing that to individuals that are interested in learning Korean. I don't know if any of the high schools have looked to that possibility yet, because I know they're limited on what they do with the funding they receive as well. But I know that the chamber has tossed around, or the alliance has tossed about the idea of partnering with the city again to provide some Korean integration workshops, cultural integration workshops that we did last summer, just for the business community, to make those available to individuals. So there will be that possibility coming. But as for Korean as a second language, I know Indiana University does at the Bloomington level. I don't know if they have brought that or offer that up in the Kokomo campus yet, but I know that both campuses or both colleges are looking at English as a second language, which could also transition into also providing Korean as a second language.
Very cool. Love it. And the last one on there today would be from Paula on Facebook. And she's saying, we need to install flashing lights where the walking path crosses Markland on the west end.
We already crosses Markland. Yeah, right.
Are there some lights there already?
Yeah, so they're walker or individual activated. So when you get up to those, you push the button and that turns on the flashers.
Well, there you go,
they're
Paula.
there. So, I mean, I know if she's probably saying, just flashers to bring attention to those anyhow, so that they're on all the time. But they are, there's crosswalk signs that are push button activated that would then alert traffic and get them to stop.
Love it. Well, those are the questions we had. Solved the problem on that last one. Boom.
Loved it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post. Talk about some exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Hotel coming in.
But along with those flashing lights, I know there's a couple other high traffic areas there where the trail crosses Sycamore. There at Western Avenue and there, so we're looking at putting flashers there, and then identifying a few others to put again activated that may be at high traffic areas. So
gotcha. This beautiful weather out, folks. Go enjoy those trails here in Kokomo. Nice little walk. Take your dog out if you got one.
Absolutely,
it's a good time. All right, you got a dad joke for us?
Well, school's back in session.
It is.
And my niece, God love her, she was all excited, got to school and came home with all of her new books. And, she looked at my brother and she's like, yeah, I love all my school books. She goes, but I think my math book is the most depressed. He's like, what?
A depressed book?
A depressed math book, yeah.
That's interesting.
He's like, really? She goes, yeah, that's the one that solved the problems.
for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partnered with Robert Miller and Son Furniture. Kokomo, have a great week. We'll see you next time.
See you, Kokomo.